Hello everyone, my name is Tim. I am glad you're watching my video. I am a new full self-driving beta tester in the Midwest. I was one of the few that had 100 out of 100 and I drove like a grandma with a pot roast in the back to get it. So I hope it was all worth it. And then I got the shaky cam below right here. I know it's shaky. If this video can get 10 likes, I'll go ahead and go get another $40 suction cupped so that this is not so shaky. If this just sits at 12 views and no likes, then you know, YouTube is telling me something. You guys are telling me something. But I know this is also a bit dark. This is night driving, but I didn't want to be testing this out with a bunch of traffic because my initial run with it was kind of terrifying. I made a comment about it when I got it at 4 a.m. I could not wait to drive. So I saw the software update and I got out of bed and I was like, I gotta go drive. So I went at 4 a.m. This is not the 4 a.m. drive. And there were a few times where I was just like, you know, and some of the replies were that, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if a full self-driving beta tester gets confused by a hard turn. Okay, so that right there, by the way, that right there I don't like. It stopped, and that right there is like an always right. So it should have went through. There was no traffic, so I kind of let it do its thing. And yes, I do intervene when I'm not recording. So had I not been recording, I would have pressed the accelerator there. But from the feedback that I've seen from other Tesla drivers, like AI Driver and all them, you guys really enjoy letting the car or watching the car do its thing. So I try not to intervene unless I have to, and let the car do its thing. But as I was saying, when I got the full self-driving beta, I wanted to drive, and you'll see eventually in this video, it takes curves really, really aggressively. And I really don't like that about this beta. And the comments that I got replying to that were, well, of course, someone with 100 out of 100 would be thinking that the beta is taking hard turns or aggressive around the curves, which maybe I see your point, but I think that I take curves pretty fast. I don't think that I'm a passive driver, or I mean, I changed my behavior at driving in order to get the beta, obviously. And look at this. It tries to go to the left lane because it thinks that I have an upcoming left turn. It thinks that this is that left lane. It's just really long. It's not. It has trouble picking lanes where I am. But it figures it out. So, you know, as other beta testers have said, it's really about how the car is able to handle its mistakes that will showcase its ability to be full self-driving and get rid of the human aspect of it. Once we get rid of the steering wheel, it's going to make tons of mistakes. Well, what do you do about those mistakes? How does it handle it? Does it just stop in the middle of the road? Because if that's what happens, that's not good. So that left turn right there, that made me super excited because I've been making that left turn on autopilot for a long time. Now, what I'm calling this is the baseline target run. I'm driving to target right now, and I want to use this as my baseline because, well, I have a right turn coming up, and you'll see in just a sec what happens here. But I want to be able to know, will it be able to go to target, pick up my groceries, and come home? That's full self-driving to me. So it should be getting into the right lane right now, but this is a bike lane right here, so it's confused. Watch what happens. It has its turn signal on. It tries to go over, but then it doesn't. And this car is like, what the heck? And then it starts to stop in the middle of a yellow light. Because it's yellow, I hit the accelerator, and then I send that to Tesla. So that was not great. It didn't handle that well because of the bike lane. So I definitely wanted to send that to Tesla. we'll see. It has some trouble just figuring out the lanes where I am. I'm in the Midwest of Illinois, and if you really zoom in, it's in Springfield. You can see that. So don't dox me. Don't dox me, bro. We are putting our livelihoods at risk by doing this. So again, that like button, really appreciate it. And you can see the dash cam above, or the I got a GoPro Max above, and this video is coming out a little later than what I did my drive because I had difficulty figuring that out. So look, it stops here, which it should, but if I had a car behind me, I would have got honked at there for sure, because there's no cars. I don't know, it just, I wouldn't have stopped there, and I've gotten honked at before. You should see my bumper sticker has I'm probably not driving, because I want people to see, you know, at least know that it's probably not me that's doing this stuff. So I gave him the not driving hands, you know, but as he was driving, he gave me the, you know, it's Midwest, we give each other looks in order to say, we don't give each other the finger, we give each other the stink eye. So he gave me that. He was pretty upset, driving aggressively past me. And I was just like, not driving. I don't know what the universal I'm not driving sign should be, but I think it's this, because my hands are not on the wheel. Like, what do you think it should be? Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the beta. It handles 95% of everything just fine, but it's just that edge case that it needs smoothing out for, and that's why the beta is slowly being rolled out widely to other areas. So right now, Elon Musk has even said that it's overfit for California, and I can see that because, you know, there's a lot of different lineage that we use. On my initial run, it stopped in the middle of the intersection. So this is the curve I'm talking about to target. It doesn't look that aggressive. If you look at this one right there, it took it at 30 miles an hour, and I would take that maybe about 25. So if, you know, you're leaning in your seat, you can't see it on video, but you're leaning in your seat a little bit. You'd spill your pot roast, or if you had an open coffee, like right here, I'd slow down for that. Slows down to 29, in fact speeds up. It would get aggressive turning if I did that. If I was using my safety score, I would have got aggressive turning right there. But it takes it at 30 miles. When I was waiting for the beta, I would take that at 20 miles an hour, because I'm like, I'm not getting aggressive turns, or I would have it on autopilot, most likely. So it didn't quite make it into the left lane, but eventually got there. So made it to target alive, and without any real intervention except accelerating. So that's pretty cool. Not bad overall. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the next part. Okay, so here we are. I want to emphasize, for those of you that aren't really aware of how Teslas work, I am in full control of this vehicle at all times. I'm responsible for this vehicle at all times. If it goes into a median or drives up on the sidewalk, like I was trying to do right there, it's not ready for parking lot, so it doesn't surprise me that it did that. Wanted to see what it would do though. I intervened right there. I said, I don't want the car going there, so I took control. So this is for those people that don't understand AI, or who I've sent this to, that just want to see what the Teslas are capable of. And this is a beta. It's not ready for wide release yet. It's not full self-driving. I am in full control and fully responsible for the vehicle. So emphasizing that for those that don't really get it. But it is impressive what it's able to do. You really have to appreciate what's going on here. So look at below at the screen and all of the things that it's seeing on the roads right now. And this is without LiDAR. That's basically radar with light. And that's just using cameras around and then creating a 3D model like you would in Minecraft or a video game. And then it makes a path and drives around that. And just 5 years ago, doing what it's doing right now would have been said to be impossible. Now, my initial drive, that turn right there was incredibly rough. It made it perfectly this time. So I don't know what's causing it to do well and not do well, but it handled that turn there perfectly. What else do I want to say? Oh, if you are waiting for the beta and you're not a 100 score and you're complaining about forward collision warnings, I've gotten into this a lot in the comments on the Tesla subreddit. The forward collision warnings is sort of a way to weed out potential areas that are not good for this beta. And after driving with the beta, I had a inkling that was the case, and it's only speculation on my part, by the way. But I have a feeling that was the case before I drove the beta. But after driving the beta, I've really confirmed my suspicion that the forward collision warnings is just really turned up in sensitivity in order to weed out environments that would not be conducive to the beta to drive in. So if you're complaining, oh, cars cut in and out and I get forward collision warnings and it's not my fault, good, that's fine. You're still probably a good driver. It's not a evaluation of whether you're a good driver or not. It's an evaluation of A, do you pay attention? If you get that, if you get booted out because you didn't pay attention, then they don't want you at all, first and foremost. Second, is the car able to drive in the environment that you are mostly driving in? Basically, that's what it's testing, because I'm not that great of a driver, but I still got a 100 out of 100 because I was able to adapt my driving in order to get it. And my area, not that aggressive. It's just, the Midwest, we kind of allow each other on the road. There's plenty of room. We'll all get there. Oh, you need in? Come on in. In fact, let's have dinner later. Thanks for putting on that turn signal. No, you go ahead. Now, that is one of the things I hate about the Midwest. I have seen so many people wave as a friendly, oh yeah, go ahead. But it's actually a dangerous situation. And now here's a situation I want to point out. You see the in the top right over here, you see the flashing yellow there. My experience so far has been that the Tesla waits at that and it doesn't understand that it can go. So I've only been able to test it once, and another comment said that it handled it fine. But on my initial drive home, I was waiting at a yellow light, or that flashing yellow, which means yield where I am, and it did not go. So I want to test that out, and I will test that out in future videos. So again, subscribe. This was a lot of work, and doing it this way is extensive work. Doing the editing, putting all the camera angles everywhere. So I really want to emphasize to you that I intend to have quality over quantity. So it's not going to be I drive and then hit upload. I want to do it this way and bring value to your time. So, obviously I'll get better at this as time goes on. The camera will get more stabilized, and these will be brighter because I'll drive out in the day. But not bad for a first video, I'd say. I like it. I think it's impressive. I enjoy it. I think I'd watch it. So not much else here. We do have a roundabout coming up. Now, this is something that it continues to do, which I do not like. It's navigating, and I have to intervene here because it's like, what are you doing? I'm going to miss my turn. And I have other things to do, so I have a kid and a full-time job, so I had to actually get home. And if I missed this left turn here, it would have added probably 10 minutes to my trip, because I would have had to go all the way down and then turn left, and then it's just a big old ordeal. So I did intervene there to get it to the correct lane. But it does that all the time. It will stay in its right lane and then, not, you know, it just, I feel like it should have been in the left lane there and then made its turn. Or if it was in the right lane, knew that an upcoming left was going to happen and then switched lanes, but stayed in the right the entire time, which is surprising. Very surprising, since the full self-driving on the highway would change lanes in anticipation of the upcoming left. So I expected that to happen there, but it didn't. It doesn't appear like it does either. And the navigation that you see below that screen and what it's doing and driving, it feels like they don't communicate or talk that much. It's like they're two brothers fighting. I'm not listening. Why don't you tell him that there's an upcoming left ahead? Well, tell him that I don't want to get in the left lane yet. I'll get there when I get there. You know, it feels like that. That was a little ridiculous, I know, but it just doesn't. Oh, the brightness too. I am waiting for someone to get ticked off at me because the flashing lights. It's still happening where I'll be on the highway, brights off, and the car in front of me is probably just like, is this guy trying to signal me? Do I have a turn signal on? You know what I mean? Because if someone was flashing their brights at me, I would be like, why is this person trying to contact me? Why do they want my attention? I don't know. Handles a four-way stop. I love it. Oh, that's so exciting to me. The fact that this is driving right now still blows my mind. So we have an upcoming roundabout here, so maybe I'll get interrupted, but I really feel like we're within 5 years where this will be level 4 autonomy. And I know a lot of you are going to think that's ridiculous, but if it's this far, this quickly, I don't see it stopping at all in learning, because I think of this as an aggressive 15-year-old driver. Now look, it's waiting for me to intervene for some reason, which I might not have, should not have, because of that car. And then it stops right there in the middle. Like it felt like it stopped, you know? So if there was a car behind me, I definitely would have maybe got hit or rear-ended. But within 5 years, because exponential growth and learning, this is a 15-year-old, and think how well you learned in 5 years. Now imagine that you had every single driving experience that you ever do. Imagine that is just, you remember all of it. And now imagine you have 1 million people driving and telling you how to learn. So, you know, especially with Project Dojo, it's just going to be incredible. So this is the end of the ride for me. So this will be my baseline. I hope every update I'm going to do that, and we'll see it get better over time. And then there are other places around Springfield that I will test out as well. So if you enjoy this format, let me know. If you have suggestions, let me know. And I hope to have your subscription. It would mean the world to me. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.